All in Sports Network. We love sports.
Coming to you from the land of brisket and barbecue, Lone Stars and Longhorns, this is All in Colts, presented by the Unstable Blues.
Welcome back in. The Colts' small playoff chances were put to a giant stomp as the Colts made another awful team look amazing. We'll break it down and give you our Mayflower move and Lone Stars of the game. So let's go all in Colts.
Yes, I'm Kevin. This is my son Liam. We are the Unstable Blues, happy to present All in Colts as part of the Rogue Media Sports Network. Now, the season is unofficially over without being officially over. So, it leads me to a seasonal question. It's always a hot button issue. Not always, but you know.
Sometimes.
Much like when do you start Christmas movies and Christmas carols? Like, does Christmas season start as soon as Halloween is over, or do you have to wait till after Thanksgiving? Can you start somewhere in between? Right? That kind of debate is, when do Christmas lights need to come down?
When do Christmas lights need to come down? Whenever your family has free time to do it. If that is the day after Christmas, then take it down the day after Christmas. Christmas season is over once Christmas Day is over.
Whoa.
So that's how all holidays are. If you
We'd like
think
to stretch this out, though.
but that's how all holidays are.
But as long as the kids are still on Christmas break. Oh, sorry. They don't call it Christmas break anymore because that would just not be politically correct. They have to call it winter break. You know what? Let's bring Christmas back. Christmas break is still intact for some of our kids all the way up through January 8th.
So my thing is, it's over as soon as Christmas is over because that's how every other season is. Halloween, you have like a week up to it. Thanksgiving, you have like a week up to it. Christmas is the most anticipated holiday, so it gets until after Thanksgiving until Christmas for some people. Some people only give it a week. There's also some people start listening to, Christmas music and stuff like that after Halloween, still go through Thanksgiving. That's me. I listen to Christmas music and stuff like that before Thanksgiving and then all the way up until Christmas. So Christmas already has a massive amount of time, so it doesn't need anything after, like the other holidays don't. So it ends right after Christmas. But if you don't have time right after Christmas or something like that, or you're tired or whatever, that's understandable. Just do it another time. Like, it's not that big of a deal, but the actual holiday ends right after Christmas.
See, I'm in a more traditional sense. I'm like, okay, let's take it down on let's start to take it down New Year's Day, right? Let's leave it up. I mean, it's Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, right? Like,
yeah.
I mean, yeah. How many people have Happy New Year decorations?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Maybe you do. If you have Happy New Year decorations, please let us know. Like, that's, I don't know. I just got to know what that is, what that looks like. Okay. Back to the Colts game. Sorry, just got to distract ourselves from what happened. Speaking of what happened, let's go through the narrative of the game itself.
Yes. First off, the Colts moved the opening drive into Giants territory, but Joe Flacco threw an interception.
Yes, the Colts answered and remained the only team not to allow an opening drive touchdown.
Mm-hmm. The offense started moving, getting the ball, moving the ball well, but they had to settle for a field goal. That was well attained by Matt Gay.
Yep. The Giants answered with Tyrone Tracy run and a Malik Neighbors catch and run for a touchdown.
Yep. Then Matt Gay proceeded to miss a 54-yard field goal when the next Colts drive stalled out.
Yep. Then Darius Slayton had another giant touchdown.
Yep. And then, where are we at? The Colts had yet another drive sputter at the end, leading to another field goal.
But the Giants answered right back after another neighbor's big play with a Wandale Robinson touchdown.
Yep. Colts finally put something good together before half with a Jonathan Taylor touchdown after a Kyan Granson 4th and 2 conversion in the low red zone.
Yeah, that was a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
That led to a 21-13 halftime score, only down by one possession in favor of the Giants, and a 19-11 time of possession the Colts way.
Yeah. The opening kickoff of the second half killed all potential momentum as the Giants ran it back for a touchdown.
But the Colts responded with a 26-yard Jonathan Taylor run to pay dirt. He got so close. What did we count? Like 5 close calls up until then. And as soon as we said it, boom, broke it.
Yep. After a 3-and-out for the Giants, the Colts decided to go for it on 4th and 1 just outside the red zone and did not get it.
That resulted in a turnover on downs from the Giants going for it in their own territory to bring the score to 28-20 heading into the fourth quarter.
The Colts weren't able to capitalize after a no-call PI on a shot to Alec Pierce. He's getting tugged quite a lot.
He literally got tackled 3 yards before the ball arrived. He was already getting tackled.
Yeah.
After a 3-and-out for the Giants, the Colts were able to capitalize with a Pierce jump ball in the end zone after a key Michael Pittman Jr. makeup PI call, I would say.
Possibly. Unfortunately, the 2-point conversion failed after a good catch and pitch call, so the score stayed at 28-26, just under 11 minutes to play. I like that 2-point conversion call. You don't. I like the call. It would have worked. JT missed. JT did not grab it. He was paying attention to everything. It just looked like it hit his hands and bounced down. He would have scored the 2-point as well. Great play call. Great execution up to JT missing it. I like the 2-point.
I will talk about the play call in the intangibles. How's that?
Okay.
The scoring opened up at that point with the Giants and the Colts, each answering each other with big touchdowns before the Giants answered right back to leave the score with a whopping 42-33 with under 3 minutes left.
Joe Flacco proceeded to throw an interception on the next play, leading to a giant field goal, and the game was officially put to bed with a strip sack by Kayvon Thibodeau.
Yeah. Don't like that guy. Don't like that guy from before. 22. Don't like that guy now.
Yeah.
I think he's dirty. But time for the stat sheet. Joe Flacco went 26 for 38, 330 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and a fumble. One of those interceptions, one of those fumbles kind of came when desperation time. So, I mean, really, you could call it 2 TDs, 1 interception, and that interception happened early.
Drew Lock was made a hero, going 17 for 23, 309 yards, 4 touchdowns, and a 155.3 rating. The only reason he has that many yards is because he was a yak merchant today. The announcers talked about him multiple times. He's not even throwing these deep balls. He's just throwing it short and letting his receivers do the rest. Malik Neighbors.
Yep. He was his number 1 target with 171 yards, 2 touchdowns on 7 catches.
Yep. Wandale Robinson added 71 yards and another touchdown, and Darius Slayton had the other touchdown.
Alec Pierce continued to lead the league in yards per catch with 122 yards on 6 receptions and a touchdown. He still has over 20 yards per reception.
Yep. Great day from him. MPJ added another 109 yards on 9 grabs and the other touchdown.
Jonathan Taylor had another huge game running for 2 touchdowns and 125 yards on 32 carries.
Yep. While the Giants were held under 100 yards rushing, with Tyrone Tracy getting most of his 59 yards on one 40-yard run early in the game.
Yep. Ty Summers and Jason Pinnock had 11 and 10 tackles respectively for the Giants, while Raheem Nunez Roches and Kayvon Thibodeau delivered sacks.
Yep. The Colts defense started flying around a little too late, with Zaire Franklin continued leading the league in tackles with 14 this game. Nick Cross had 7, and Grover Stewart had a day in the middle with 6 tackles as a nose tackle.
Yep. He was having a good time out there, just moving and grooving. The Colts could not get any pressure, even with Kenny Moore and Womack blitzing off the edge, as they had no sacks and only one QB hit.
Yeah.
Time for your intangibles. What are your intangibles that led to the difference in this game? Because as we know, as we try to point out to everyone who keeps stat watching, stats do not tell the whole picture.
Yes. I think one would be okay, hold on. I'm gonna go here and then it'll just lead down kind of a rabbit hole to all my other intangibles. One, the penalties were pretty even on both sides, I'd say. No unfairly called penalties. If there was one, there was a makeup later, something like that. There was one penalty I saw that it didn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. It was Jalen Jones, a PI on Malik Neighbors. The ball was in the area whenever he made contact. It just wasn't close to Malik, so it's a flag. I don't know. Weird. Didn't matter in the grand scheme of things, though. The time of possession was won by the Colts. The rushing defense and rushing offense was won by the Colts, even though we had Joe Flacco, not AR. And the thing that we lost, that we talk about a lot, is the turnover battle. They had 3 turnovers. We had 0. That's a big difference. We somehow kept the score close with there being 3 turnovers, which kind of proves how bad of a team the Giants are, if we're being honest. Yeah. You win the turnover battle by 3, yet you're only winning by 2 possessions.
Right. And your quarterback has a 155 rating and 4 touchdowns.
Yeah. And you're not, which proves your point even more about this year is a running year. Yep. The running backs are absolutely going crazy. So huge props to them. I'm a big fan of that. I love seeing big runs break off unless they're against my team. Other than that, I don't really have much.
All right. I'm going to start my portion by letting you hear from the players themselves. I did not have time to piece these together, so I have 3 different clips on how the players afterwards responded in the locker room.
Jacksonville a few years ago, this one, I guess, what's missing with this franchise to be able to take care of an overmatched opponent when you guys do have the playoffs in sight?
Well, that's a complex question that I don't really have a direct answer for. We each got to execute and finish more. Like, we just got to do something different. I don't know what that is, but something.
How tough is it to swallow to allow a season high in points to New York with all that was on the line for you guys today?
I'm going to be frank. I mean, I should be frank, but I don't know, man.
Lots of questions in the locker room. Makes me think they don't believe in their coaches or GM or owner.
I mean,
Zaire Franklin is your captain of the team who's been
and Pitt's
active.
Your brand new captain who had it coming for a while. That's a complex question I don't know the answer to. I don't know.
I'm gonna be frank.
I
shouldn't be frank.
I don't know. If I don't know is the answer that your captains are giving, then there is a leadership problem. And if you ask me, that leadership does not start or end with Chris Ballard. There is somebody higher than that. Unfortunately, you can't fire somebody who owns the team.
Yeah. Only the other teams can do that. Yeah.
Okay, but as far as this, the Colts consistently make a bad team look good under Ballard's leadership. This is a consistent problem that they have had for almost the entirety of his management, that they make bad teams look good. That is not a good look. As far as the intangible specifics, missed tackles. And don't blame Zaire Franklin for that. You can't blame the league leader the past 3 years overall in tackles for a tackle problem. So, Pat McAfee.
Who also had 14 on the day.
Right. So, Pat McAfee and your rant, shut up. If you don't have anything good to do about it, then shut up. We don't need to hear it. I don't care if you were right or wrong. Stop using your platform to down a system unless you're willing to do something about it. We already gave our invitation to do something about it. We're willing to do it. What are you willing to do? Put yourself out there. Lack of creativity or variation in play calls. Okay, I hear you. I know that you love the play call. Here's my problem. And I'll go back to the Broncos game to back this up. Most of the time, no matter who's the quarterback, we know what's going to happen. We're going to run the ball on first down, right? And then it's going to be second and long, and so you're going to have to pass the ball. And then it's third and short, and we're going to try to run the ball again or do some short pass or something. It's too predictable when it's predictable. And then all of a sudden, Shane Steichen is like this mad scientist in a lab and comes out and go, Eureka, I found something. And then comes up with an Adonai double pass that's going to get intercepted. Or a pass out to the side that's going to get pitched and your receiver isn't used to pitching it and your running back isn't used to catching the pitch from the receiver. Doesn't matter how many times you practice it over the week. You're not going to practice it like you did, like you have been practicing it with the people who regularly do it since training camp. And so you get too creative when it's not needed. But you're not a little bit creative in the times where you need to be. Does that make sense? Okay. Their turnovers, you mentioned. Red zone efficiency, the Colts were 3 for 5, and the Giants were 2 for 3. And that leads to the explosive play argument that has been brought up many times. But here's the deal. If your team wins almost every single stat offensively, passing yards, rushing defensive yards, what else? Total plays, first downs, efficiency on all of those markers.
Total
fourth down
yards.
efficiency. If you win time of possession, you have to win the game. You have to win the game. If you do not win the game, you did not deserve to win the game. You did not deserve to go to the playoffs. You did not deserve to even be called a potential playoff team. It shouldn't have gone on this long.
Yep.
There may have been some people, your mother, who've been calling this the whole time.
Yeah.
And we defended. The other thing Pat McAfee got wrong was that he called for Flacco. And that was obviously the wrong choice. With all that said, what was then your Mayflower move, game-changing move of this game.
Trying to think here. I think honestly, it has to be the. I would call the 2-point conversion just because the point was at one point they were down by 9 rather than being down by 8. But then again, you think about it, you got to go for 2 points at some point. So, I mean, if it were me, I wouldn't want to necessarily go for 2 with the game on the line. I'd want to go for 2 earlier in the game and see what I have to do instead of. That's the way I'd rather work my team. But there are some instances where you can't choose and you have to do it on the line. But because I'm not going to say that because I've defended the call to go for 2 there and because I like the play call there, I'm going to say it was the interception there at the end of the game that Flacco threw. I think that was, kind of still had some hope. Only down by 9, get a touchdown. Don't need to go for 2. You can get an onside, right? I trust Rigoberto to hit a nasty kick for the onside.
True.
So you can get that ball. You have timeouts. You have everything like that. But then you throw an interception, and then it's like, and then they just run down the clock on you. You have no timeouts, so you have basically no chance. So I don't know. That interception was just like after that interception, I left because I'm like, yeah, I know we're not going to win here. So I didn't see anything else.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. My Mayflower move. Like, for a good portion of the game, my Mayflower move was getting off the bus. Because they didn't look ready at all.
Yeah.
Not at all. And then there seemed to be some hope. And then, okay, all right. Maybe this can. And then it was so back and forth. I'm really surprised that you didn't bring up that Latu got blocked in the back.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, there was a play where Drew Lock ran it in for a touchdown. And literally Latu beat Lock. Lock started escaping to the outside. Latu started going chase, and the offensive lineman, literally you could only see the guy's numbers. That's all. He straight up push in the back. I'm like,
knocked him down. Yep.
And Latu couldn't do anything about it.
Yep. So I'm surprised he didn't bring that one up. Obviously, if the Colts could have pulled it out, it could have been a different Mayflower move. But to me, it was not even the play call. I'm just going to say the decision to go for 2. Down 2 with 11 minutes to go.
Yeah.
11 minutes left in the game is a long time. How many points were scored after that? The Colts scored what? They 33. They scored another touchdown, and the Giants scored
a touchdown, and
they were at 28. So they scored a whole.
They scored 2 more touchdowns and a field goal.
Yeah, they scored 17 more points. So it's a lot of time. A lot of things can happen. And you put yourself in a hole by chasing too early. Right?
Mm-hmm.
You need to learn a lesson from the tortoise and the hare. Slow and steady wins the race.
True.
And you can't get in panic mode too early, especially as a head coach and a play caller. What that represents to your team is we don't trust our defense. We're in panic mode. We're jittery, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're on the edge already. And then if you don't make it, now the sense of urgency ramps up even more. And all you had to do was go for 1. That's all you had to do in that moment. There's way too much game left to put yourself at risk by doing that. I'm fine for risky stuff later in the game. I mean, what he did with the Patriots. Once again, could be you're a hero or you're the scapegoat, depending on the outcome of that call.
Yeah.
He kind of masked that fact by, burying it 11 minutes left in the game. But to me, I point to that as a game changer because all of a sudden, no, down by 2, down by 1. I hear the logic. I hear it that it's not that big of a difference. But when they go down and they score again and they only have to go for 1, that changes it to now you're in a 9-point hole.
Mm.
And it's just tough to come back from that. It really is.
Yeah.
Who is your lone star of the game?
I think there could be honestly a lot of people that I could be here. A lot of people played well. Pierce played well. Neighbors played well on the other side. Pitt even had a good game. But I'm gonna stick with the Colts. I'm gonna go with the person who I said was a player to watch as well. 2 touchdowns on the day, 125 rushing yards. Give me JT. I like it.
I figured you would head that way. I'm going to take the cheap way out, and I'm going to give it to 2 players, 1 on each side. Both the biggest top receiver getters of the day. Alec Pierce, it wasn't just the big plays. Alec Pierce came to play. Alec Pierce had the energy and the grit and the stick-to-itiveness that was needed from every other player on that field for the Colts to get the job done. And unfortunately, not everybody had that same wherewithal.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to give it to him, but I would be remiss if I did not actually give it to Malik Neighbors because of what he did and everything like that. And I definitely see why the Colts tried and tried and tried. And we're on the phone to try to get up and get him all draft night. Totally get it. Let's be honest. This was Adonai Mitchell's chance to show him up, and he did not.
Nope.
So, there you go. That's it, though, for today. We will be back tomorrow with an update at the other teams in the AFC South. Then later this week, we will have our Unstable Pick 6 NFL prediction show, final fantasy stable episode of the season, and our preview of the Colts season finale hosting the Jaguars.
Yep. Well, this is Liam.
And this is Kevin.
Reminding you to stay all in Colts.
All in Sports Network. We love sports.